Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. January has passed and as always the fashion world is absolutely buzzing with news. So get comfy because we're diving deep into everything that has been happening since the beginning of this year. And it's quite a lot. Let's kick things off with some news that might make your wallet cry. Price increases. Yeah. It is that time of the year again. Despite economic worries and some concerns about production ethics, luxury brands are still raising their prices. It's definitely a yearly event, sometimes even a biannual event for some brands at this point. So Hermès has increased prices on its flagship bags, clothing and accessories. And if you are eyeing any gold, be prepared to pay even more because gold prices went up with about 30% last year. Prices on gold Rolex watches have also gone up because of this. Well, the LVMH owned brands are getting in on the action too. So Tag Heuer watches are up around 10%, and talking about Loro Piana, some of their handbags are going up by 8%, with some clothing items even increasing with a whopping 23%. These brands are definitely not playing around. But even Polène, which is considered to be a more affordable brand, is getting in on the price increases as they have been doing for a couple of years now already. They informed their customers upfront about the price increase now, stating that it's due to the rising material costs. Although we may consider it a kind gesture of Polène to inform customers about upcoming price increases, it did mean that customers were also panic buying whatever was left on their websites, and a lot of the popular items were out of stock. So you might argue it was perhaps also a bit of strategy to push for sales while items were still at their lower price point. And I think they've definitely not suffered from that. Now, let's talk about the chaotic world of designer musical chairs. I already touched upon it a little bit in my video recently about fashion trends for 2025. So it's always exciting to see who is going where. Prensa Schoolers founders Jack McCullough and Lazaro Hernandez are stepping down, and they are rumored to be heading to Loewe. Rumor also has it that Jonathan Anderson, the current designer at Loewe, might be moving to Dior. In other big news, and I do have to admit this already happened last year, but Mathieu Blazy has taken over as the creative director at Chanel. He was at Bottega Veneta before. Louise Trotter, who was at Carven, has now taken his role over there. Sarah Burton is at Givenchy, Haider Ackermann is heading up Tom Ford, John Galliano is leaving Maison Magriella, Kim Jones has left Fendi to concentrate on Dior's menswear. As you can tell, it's a lot of changes and it's kind of hard to keep up. On a more somber note, the fashion world has sadly also lost two icons recently. First off, Rosita Missoni, the co-founder of the iconic Missoni brands. She passed away at 93. And then also Oliviero Toscani passed away. He was an Italian photographer most known for his provocative advertising campaigns for Benetton. He passed away at 82. And his work sparked a lot of controversy about social issues and pushed the boundaries between art and advertising. Their contribution to fashion and visual culture will not be forgotten. They were both pioneers and their influence will definitely live on. Okay, moving on to some more light-hearted news. The Louis Vuitton Takashi Murakami collaboration was re-released in January of this year to celebrate its 20th anniversary. So a lot of us got ready for those colorful monogram bags to make a splash again. Some pieces are really a direct throwback, while other pieces are more modern. This was definitely a big one for everybody who loves nostalgia. Having said that, there were also some critiques on the new Murakami collection. First of all, when it released, basically I think the Louis Vuitton website just went completely down and it was really hard for people to order items that they wanted to have. I think it was also not very easy to get by items in the store. And as we see more recently with Louis Vuitton nowadays, the release was not free of quality issues. So that was really a shame. We however also see that this new collection is reigniting the demand for the original drop, and it's really great to see creators but also just other handbag enthusiasts enjoying these pre-loved items that already have a little bit of wear, so they also don't have to be too concerned about using those items. Then what else was up? Well, Loewe unveiled their limited edition Lunar New Year collection with dreamy cloud motifs and ombre designs. It's a very playful collection, but the thing that stood out to me the most is that they actually released a original Loewe puzzle bag, I think in a mini size, so not the edge design that they have been doing recently, which makes me wonder if there's going to be a little comeback of the original puzzle. Of course, only time and future collections will tell. Then finally, Uniqlo and J.W. Anderson have collaborated for a modern preppy spring-summer collection with classic pieces like Oxford shirts, polos, and blazers. So if you're looking for something that's both a bit designer but also affordable and you love the preppy style, this might be your cue to jump on this collection. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture of the luxury space. The luxury market is definitely facing some challenges right now. Reports suggest that the luxury industry growth will be slow, only about 1 to 3% between 2024 and 2027. And it particularly seems that China and Europe are not contributing as much to the growth of the luxury sector. However, the Middle East and India are expected to boom in luxury sales. People's interest seems to shift more towards wellness and travel experience rather than watches and clothing, which is quite interesting to see. And also there is seemingly more focus on accessories rather than people buying new clothing. It's worth noting that Gucci has been struggling with sales lately. They have a new CEO, so we'll have to see if they can turn things around. And we were also seeing last month that brands are being held more accountable for their environmental and social impact. One notable example that has nothing to do with luxury, but it is from Shein, the online fast fashion giant. They recently were invited to British Parliament to answer some tough questions about their supply chain and labor practices, and their general counsel just completely failed to answer. It was really embarrassing to see, and it must have been really frustrating for those people who did the questioning.
Asking you whether you think you are being disrespectful by being so blankly void of answers.
And with due respect, I am doing the best I can to answer the questions the committee
I'm interrupting, but I disagree that you are doing the best you can. You're not. You're not giving us straight answers.
I am giving the answers to the best of my ability, and
that is not true. That is simply not true. We have asked you some very, very, very simple questions, and you are not giving us straight answers. And that, I find, dismisses the point of why we are here today. Do you understand how simple the questions we are asking you are? Do any of your products, do they have cotton from China? That is not difficult.
Understand the question, and I believe in earlier questions and answers I have answered to the best of my ability and offered on the questions I'm unable to answer today.
Okay, I will park it. I will say that you have not answered the best of your ability and you've obfuscated willfully.
So really not a good look for Shein, and the issues surrounding fast fashion need to be seriously addressed. Well, that is a wrap on the major fashion news for January 2025. A mix of price hikes, designer swaps, amazing new collections, and a reminder that the fashion industry is always changing. What do you think about the price increases or the new designer appointments or the other news that was discussed? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fashion-loving friends. I'll see you in the next one, and as we'd say in Dutch, doei!